Volusia Mall. I've been out this way twice now, and, well, things haven't really changed. But things probably should, given the empty Macy's and the empty Sears. But as long as CBL still owns this mall, I'm not so sure those things will change. Especially depending on who they sell to. Here's a name we haven't seen in a while on this channel. Edward J. DeBartolo. His corporation would be behind this mall's conception, which would be under construction by 1973. Though it wasn't really a smooth operation. As going through the papers, I found an article about a construction accident in August 1974, which would result in the loss of one of the construction workers. Blocks being put into position would have collapsed, causing a scaffold to shift and 2 workers to fall off of it. One would have died later in the hospital, while the other would recover and be released. It was ultimately a terrible accident. Despite the accident, the work continued and the mall would officially open in October 14, 1974, and Ivey's would be the only anchor to open up with the mall. Ivey's would have closed their downtown store in Daytona Beach in favor of their new mall location. May-Cohens would open up in December that year, while Sears and JCPenney would open in February 1975 and August 75, respectively. Walgreens would also be a part of the original mall, along with a 3-screen movie theater. You could also expect a grand fountain in the center court, at least back in the day. Nowadays, all 3 of those things are now gone. Would have loved a picture of that fountain, though. The mall did do well enough to warrant an expansion, which would occur in 1982. This would have expanded the mall and brought in 2 new anchors, Belk Lindsay and Birdings. And in 1996, the mall would undergo an extensive renovation to bring in new skylights, new flooring, new seating, new landscaping, and according to the paper, an interactive fountain with periodic 24-foot sprays. Again, would be nice if I got a picture of that, but that doesn't exist anymore, as you can tell. This renovation would even bring in a new food court, and by this point, Ivey's would be bought out and taken over by Dillard's, while May-Cohens would have changed name a few times before becoming Gayfers, and Dillard's was in the process of buying out Belk Lindsay and Mercantile, the parent company of Gayfers. Well, here's an odd story that I stumbled upon in the notes. The bathroom sex hearing. An incident that occurred in 2008 within the bathroom of the mall Sears store led to the arrests of 9 people, including then city commissioner and a high school teacher. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at this, the rest of the article appears to have gotten lost and was not archived. But once again, Florida delivers on some stories straight out of left field, and I do like a good Florida man story. Today, the mall has to contend with the absence of Sears, which would close in 2019. No surprise there. And Macy's, formerly Birding's, would shut its doors for the last time in 2021. Now, currently there is a plan to redevelop the former Macy's building and build apartment blocks in its place. Should that follow through, we can expect to see this apartment block in spring of 2026. Although I won't hold my breath as redevelopment plans have a habit of falling through. Additionally, the mall is still owned by CBL and Associates, whom has been going through their own trials. Right now, the Volusia Mall seems a bit stagnant, and it wouldn't take much for stores to start leaving en masse. A German restaurant and pub in a mall. That actually doesn't sound too bad. I might have to come back here again and try them. It's also the coolest storefront in the mall, at least in my opinion, and even if it isn't authentic German food, it's gotta be better than the rather pitiful food court here. Overall, this mall just feels very average. The center court is wide open and it does a good job of making you feel small, but beyond those things, there's just not much jumping out at me. Well, there are a few things. The beachwear shop, the local game store, the German pub, and the old Macy's corridor, which does have a bit of that dead mall rot to it. I can see why they want to redevelop that part first. Now, a couple odd things that I did encounter while here. First, I went into the various anchor stores to just have a look around and browse. And the Dillard store with the second floor windows, there, the ground floor was almost entirely empty save for like a few racks of merch in maybe one corner. I want to say it was a bit of a liminal feeling being there, but two things. One, too many people obviously working and cleaning the space, and two, I'm probably going to get a lecture on how I misused the word liminal, because of course it's only a problem when I do it. Although getting back on topic, it does seem that Dillard's is, or at least was, operating 3 of the anchor stores at this mall. I've heard some stores operating 2 anchors, but never 3. Maybe that's why the first floor was so empty. Perhaps they were consolidating to the other 2 stores. I don't know for certain, but I'm sure someone will let me know. I also encountered, well, I guess I actually saw a Florida man. Well, Florida woman. I won't go into detail on it, but the shouting didn't appear to be directed at anyone in particular. At first, I thought she was shouting about me, but no confrontation got involved. Frankly, it was probably best I didn't get involved. Man, I wonder what colorful character I'll meet next time I come back to Daytona. Until next time, Daytona Beach, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you and the Volusia Mall farewell and good luck in the future.